13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
All eyes on the potential for severe weather today. I'm going to time it out for you, break it all down. That's coming up.
The case may now be closed in one Macon hit and run, but it remains open in another. The man investigators arrested and the person they're still looking for.
Plus, crews are still trying to find a man after an accident on Lake Sinclair. What his daughter says happened when they went out on a fishing trip.
And there are fears that we're heading towards a crisis in the classroom as teachers are leaving the business at an alarming rate. We'll break down the numbers. That's coming up at 6:45 a.m. Well, good Wednesday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:31 a.m. on this March 23rd. Give yourself a pat on the back because we have made it halfway through the work week. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. And once we get through the severe weather threat today, we are coasting for the rest of the week as far as the weather goes, Courtney.
That's right. That's what I was just saying to y'all. I said, okay, just got to get through today and then we can sit back and relax and just wait for the weekend to be here. But of course, today, do want to be weather aware, have a way to receive weather warnings. Right now, just simply rain out there. We do have some fairly steady rain that was pushing in from the west, now rolling into parts of Pulaski County, Houston County, Bleckley County, and then we'll eventually move into parts of Twiggs, Dodge, Telfair County, also down towards Wilcox County and Abbeville. We do have some rain moving into Upson, Taylor, and Crawford County as well. So the roads are going to be slick. It's also breezy out there. So both hands on the steering wheel and just give yourself a couple of extra minutes. Tornado watch down to our south, and that's where all the thunderstorm activity is back in Alabama and southern Georgia. And we'll look ahead to thunderstorms as we head into the next hour or so, and then the potential for maybe some severe storms as well. We'll look for damaging wind gusts, maybe a brief tornado or two, and also the potential for some small hail. The timing on this between around 8 a.m. this morning to around 3 p.m. this afternoon, so that will encompass some of your morning drive. Either way, I'm going to time it out hour by hour for you, give you everything you need to know. It's in just a few minutes. Of course, with that potential for severe weather today, you want to have a way to receive weather warnings. Our app is great for it. It's free in the App Store and Google Play. You can scan the square on the bottom of your screen as well. It will take you right to the app. Be sure you go to the settings in the corner up there and turn on the notifications so any warnings will go straight to your phone.
Thank you, Courtney. This morning, we're working to learn more about a shooting in East Macon that left a man dead. Bibb County Coroner Leon Jones says it happened just before 11:30 last night on Menard Circle. He says the victim was 28-year-old Quentin Woodson. Right now, we don't know what led to the shooting or who is responsible, but we will update you on air and online at 13WMAZ.com as we get more information. Now to three other headlines we're following this morning, including updates in 2 pedestrian death cases in Macon. A hit and run from last year now has answers as one man is in jail in connection to it. According to our partners with Mercer Center for Collaborative Journalism, Bibb County Sheriff's investigators arrested Jerry Houston Sr. last week. He's charged with vehicular homicide and felony hit and run in connection with Joseph Wright's death. The 54-year-old died this past December after a car hit him on Christmas Eve. It happened around Anthony Road and Cedar Avenue. Right now, investigators are looking for a man in connection to a hit and run from last July. It happened on Old Clinton Road and left 65-year-old Irene Stubbs dead. An arrest warrant's out for 26-year-old Nathan Epps. He faces charges of vehicular homicide and felony hit and run. Warner Robins police continue to investigate a shooting that left one man hurt. They say around 3 yesterday afternoon, officers got a call about a person headed to a hospital after getting shot. They met with the 27-year-old who said he and another person shot at each other in the 1300 block of Alma Avenue. Police say the two do know each other. Officers are continuing to look into the case. And the search is still on for a man authorities believe drowned after getting thrown overboard in a boating accident. And crews from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and Putnam County Sheriff's Office spent most of yesterday on Lake Sinclair looking for 42-year-old Patrick Gilbert. The Sheriff's Office says 18-year-old Rebecca Gilbert says she and her father were fishing yesterday morning when their boat hit a floating log. The impact caused all of the rigging and gear in the boat to shift to the left, flipping the father and daughter into the lake. Rebecca told first responders she did her best to keep her dad afloat, but she eventually went under herself. When she got back to the surface, she says her dad was gone.
When we're on situations like this, we want to try to find the person as quick as we can to help bring that family closure.
Hoping that they can get that closure soon.
Absolutely.
Now, the search could continue today. Sergeant Lee Brown with the Georgia DNR says it all depends on the storms and how they move into the area. He says if they can't get the boats out onto the water today, they will start back first thing tomorrow morning. In your state news, a jury will continue deliberations this morning in the federal bribery case against a former City of Atlanta employee. Mitzi Bicker's charges include conspiracy to commit bribery, money laundering, and wire fraud.
Those are connected to a bribery scandal inside City Hall during the Kasim Reed administration. Vickers is accused of being involved with a cash for city contract scheme with 2 construction company executives. The allegations include that she got more than $2 million. Several others charged in connection with the scandal have previously entered guilty pleas and have already been sentenced.
A new Georgia bill could impact some drivers and loosen some of the restrictions from Joshua's Law. That's a 2005 measure that changed driver license requirements for teens. Under Senate Bill 510, a new driver under 18 could drive a car for the first year with 1 other passenger in the car. That person doesn't have to be a family member or 21 years old. This measure has already passed the state Senate. The House will take it up on tomorrow. Now to 3 things happening today. First up, it's Red Cross Giving Day. You can help celebrate by donating blood. The organization says blood supply remains incredibly vulnerable, especially as doctors begin to resume elective surgeries previously delayed by the pandemic. The Red Cross says those who give this month will get a $10 Fanatics e-gift card. Now you'll also be entered for a chance to win a trip for 2 to the MLB All-Star Game in California.
Well, this morning, people will show some big support to small businesses in Macon. The Office of Small Business Affairs will host a first ever international summit. It's happening at the Macon City Auditorium from 8 a.m. until 12:30. People who registered for the event will get to hear panel discussions on topics like resources for local businesses, survey distribution, and networking. Small Business Affairs Director Cherie Stevens says they want to show small businesses that they can have clients locally and globally. The event's also about letting new businesses know that Macon is welcoming to people from all around the world. All right, the time is now 6:37. A reminder, they did have to close the cherry blossom festivities for today because of the threat of severe weather, but at least people will be safe.
Exactly. Everybody can, take a day off, just breathe and just, chill out and be inside. And the good news is, as Courtney is telling us, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Quite literally, because we are going to have sunshine return. Yes, absolutely. And the good news is, of course, at least this isn't the last day of the Cherry Blossom Festival where we have to cancel everything and there's no more days to make up for it. The last day of the Cherry Blossom Festival, of course, which is on Sunday, actually looks wonderful. We do just have to get through today. Today's the one day that we are, of course, concerned about because of that threat for severe storms. All of the area under a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather. A damaging wind, a brief tornado or 2, maybe some small hail, all will be possible. In the meantime, as we wait for our front and for that window of opportunity to essentially open for severe storms, we are windy, we're warmer, it's also a little muggy out there. And here's a look at those numbers. You can see we're gusting upwards of 24 in Macon right now, 22 in Thomaston, 18 in Butler, 23 up in Eatonton. Those sustained or constant wind upwards of, it looks like, 16 miles per hour in the city of Macon. You can see the flags being put to work here on top of the fairgrounds. So be sure as you're heading out the door that you're giving yourself a few extra minutes. Do not be in a rush this morning. You can see the highways are wet here. And of course, with that wind, that's not going to help. 66 degrees right now in the city of Perry. We've been gradually seeing the temperatures get warmer, which is not typically what happens in the morning. Normally we see temperatures get cooler as we head closer to sunrise. The reason for that, a warm front is lifting north of the area, which is going to ultimately help destabilize our atmosphere and give us that potential for severe weather or help in that. 65 in Warner Robins. We're at 66 in Macon, 66 in Gordon, 68 in Montezuma, 69 in Unadilla, 65 in Forsyth, and 67 in Dublin. Here's a look at the dew points. Took a little while. It's starting to wake up. 60 in Atlanta, 62 in Macon, but take a look down near Dothan, Alabama. They're at 70. That is tropical. So while we are muggy, it's not necessarily super humid. So we have enough moisture to warrant for some thunderstorm activity, but I don't think we're at that level quite yet where we're going to be watching for severe storms. But that will continue to increase that moisture content as our warm front continues to lift north. That's going to pull in warm air. It's going to pull in moist air. You can see already in southern Georgia some thunderstorm activity starting to fire up. Most of the severe weather this morning has been along the Florida Panhandle, but we will look for that potential for severe storms over the next couple of hours here. When it comes to the rain right now falling across places like Houston County, moving into Bleckley County, Pulaski County, also parts of Dodge and Lawrence County, up towards Upson, Taylor, and Crawford County. So a fairly good soaking across the area. Now, most of the rain is fairly steady. We don't have anything necessarily super heavy right now, but that is going to cause for some slick roads. So can't stress enough, not only, of course, stay weather aware today, but also drive very carefully. Here's a look at the high resolution model. This model is the most aggressive when it comes to how well this front holds together. This is a solution. It's possible. I do want to say the high resolution model hasn't been doing so well with our past few severe threats and how they play out. It has been a little too aggressive, but still, nonetheless, it is a possibility. By 8 o'clock, that's when we open up the window of opportunity for severe weather starting in our northwestern county. So it is going to be a wet commute this morning, whether you're heading out now or in the next couple of hours. Keep that in mind. As we head towards 10 a.m., the front is going to be pushing over the 75 corridor, continuing that severe threat. And then we'll bring the threat to an end around 3 o'clock in our southern counties. So that is good news for coming home from work today, and even for some of you students heading out on the bus heading home from school. That threat should be coming to an end. It's still going to be windy, though. Here's the graph model. This one's been doing very well. This makes that front fall apart, indicating we don't quite have all the ingredients coming together for a more organized severe threat. Nonetheless, still watching for these little isolated cells as we head again between the hours of 8 and 3 p.m. for that potential for severe storm. So there's two solutions here. One fairly more widespread, the other more isolated. Nonetheless, a severe threat today. Tomorrow, a few showers south of Macon, and then we are dry, beautiful stretch of weather on the way Friday all the way through Tuesday of next week.